Were you the last person to do painting?
She scribbled in the
You need to finish cleaning up. Look at all the water on the floor and the water still in the bucket.
Yeah.
You need to clean that up for me, okay?
It's also the learning environment that they're partially responsible for. So if there's a disruption in the classroom or if a child's having a problem, that's the assistant's role to step in and manage that so that the directress or director can actually be teaching lessons and not have to manage all the children at the same time.
Got on the table. Go get the sponge and the sponge.
Usually I'm looking just to make sure there's no problems with the children. Sometimes they might have an accident or there might be a dispute with another child about who gets to do a particular work. So I'm always on the lookout for that. And the room is not perfectly quiet. There's children doing work, and so you have to listen to the noise to see if it's a normal working noise or if there's chaos somewhere.
You did? You know how that makes her feel. She was very sad. Now, what did you want to do?
Paint.
You wanted to do painting? Well, she's still cleaning the painting. So you're going to wait until she's done? Okay, you got to wait here nicely, okay? Hey, Kylie, when you're cleaning up, you still need to have your apron on. Okay?
Part of it is just acknowledging how they're feeling or if they're upset about something or if they think it's unfair. Even if I personally don't think it's unfair, I might say, boy, it sounds like you don't think that that's right or that that's fair. And then they know they've been heard, and then I can respond and say, here's what the rule is. You know, the rule is that one person gets to go outside at a time, for example. And as soon as so-and-so comes back, that's when you can go outside. That's the rule in the classroom, and that's what the directress and I say is fair. So it's acknowledging them, it's explaining why the rules are, not as a big defense of here's why things are the way they are, but so that they understand that there's a reason for the rules that we have in the room. And they're pretty receptive to that, and they internalize it, and you can often hear them say, well, this is the rule for snack, or this is the rule for that. So they like that structure.
Would you like to do it again?
The role of the directress, that you're not the one leading all the time, it's that the children are really leading and that they're all going at their own pace. And so somehow you lead this group of children through the year and they're all going at their own pace, but there's also this synergy together because all of them are doing the work in the room and they get to watch each other and they get to learn from each other. So it's really more focused on children than other methods, I think.
Why did that start?
Your work's not done? Why don't you sit at the table where your work's at and just rest for a minute? Maybe your stomach will stop hurting then, okay? Well, you need to sit down in that chair. If you have workout, then you need to sit in that chair and just rest there, okay? Why don't you rest for like 2 minutes and see if your stomach feels better, okay? I'll come and check on you in a couple minutes, okay?
One thing you sometimes end up doing is children will come to you and say, I don't feel good, you know, my stomach hurts, I think I have a fever. And there are some children who like that as a way to get attention, and there are some children who are truly not feeling well. So you have to make decisions about how to handle that. And you always take the step of seeing if their forehead is hot and perhaps taking their temperature, or you might encourage them to go to the bathroom or eat, you know, ask them if they've eaten anything that day if they say their stomach's hurting, to try and troubleshoot it early. But you always have to be aware and responsible for their health. Or in the playground, if they've run and they've fallen, to do a first aid check just to make sure, depending on what you see, that they aren't more badly hurt than they look. That's a really important safety issue for me, and children aren't always as sensitive to that as they need to be. They're pretty good about walking around each other's work, but sometimes they try to climb on the stool at the same time to get a drink of water at the drinking fountain, or might try to cut in front of line with each other, no matter how much we try to structure it differently. So, and as a result of that, sometimes children may trip each other or fall or something happens. So that's a good time for an assistant to be very observant and be watching to be preventative. If there are two children climbing on a stool, make sure that one of them gets off. If there's a problem that comes up in the classroom and I know that I should talk to the director or directress, I first think, how important is the issue? If it's a little thing, then I might be tempted to wait until we have a minute during the day when she's not presenting and I can have her attention. If it's important or serious, or I really don't know what to do and something needs to happen, then I'll see where she is in the room. And if she's giving a lesson, I'll really ask myself again, do I need to interrupt right now? And I usually won't interrupt during a lesson because things can usually wait and the lesson is short. But after that, I might seek her out and speak to her quietly about what's happening. And other times, if things are not so important or if there's just something I want to talk to her about that's not immediate, I'll wait until we're on the playground or at lunch. But even on the playground, you'd be surprised. There's always children to watch and things happening, so it's never that downtime you expect it to be. Or even at lunch, you know, if children are not using their manners or something, you have to be aware of that, and you can't get all your needs taken care of. So we have a lot of times at the beginning of the day, during the breaks, at lunch, and at the end of the day we can catch up if we didn't have a chance to during the day. Sometimes, because things get kind of busy in the classroom, I might forget some things I needed to talk about until it comes up again. So when things come up during the day, I have a list and I just make a note for myself so that when I do get some time with a directress, I can cover the points quickly and I can be more efficient that way. I've only learned to do that because I usually forget what they are, so this way I remember and we're able to cover things well.